Good afternoon, everyone. We will get started in a few minutes, right around 2 o'clock. Okay, everybody, it is 2 p.m. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our April all-stakeholder meeting for the Summer EBT program, known as Sunbucks. My name is Paige Gonzalez, and I am one of the analysts assisting with the Sunbucks implementation. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping slides we'll go through. To hear the Spanish interpretation, if you're on a laptop or desktop, after we are done with this announcement, you will see a globe at the bottom right of your screen. Please click on the globe icon that says Interpretation and select Spanish. If you're on an iPad or similar device, locate the 3-dot menu on the upper right side and select Language Interpretation. Then select your language. For those of you who are speaking today, please remember to be loud and clear and speak at a moderate pace, as the interpreter will be interpreting simultaneously into another language. And now please welcome Ms. Vargas, who will provide the slides information in Spanish.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Yelka Vargas y voy a ser su intérprete al español el día de hoy. Tenemos la interpretación de inglés a español y para poder escuchar la interpretación, por favor, seleccione el símbolo de interpretación en los controles de la reunión, tal y como se muestra en la pantalla. Número 2, seleccione el idioma en el que le gustaría escuchar la reunión. Y número 3, opcional, para escuchar solamente el idioma interpretado, o sea, el español, seleccione Mute Original Audio, silenciar audio original. Gracias.
As you may have noted, this is a Zoom webinar. This webinar will be in listen-only mode. The invitation also provides the option to connect to audio via phone or computer, depending on your preference. This webinar will be recorded. As soon as the recording becomes available, you may follow the YouTube link on the Sunbucks webpage or go to the CDSS YouTube website to access the video recording. As I mentioned, this webinar is in listen-only mode, but we are providing a way for questions to be asked. The primary way to ask questions about the program and today's content is by using the Q&A section. If you have any program questions, please ask them by selecting the Q&A button located at the bottom of your screen. You are welcome to submit a question at any time during the webinar, and they will be collected and answered at the end of the webinar during our Q&A period. This month, we are now offering the chat feature in addition to Q&A. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Share your name, location, and organization if applicable. Note that when using this feature, you have the option to select everyone, which is the default, or to select a specific participant to send your chat to. If you're having any logistical issues, you can use the chat function to ask for support from one of our co-hosts, Karina Gonzalez, who is handling the logistics today. Go to Meeting Controls, select Karina Gonzalez in the dropdown, type in your logistics question, and hit enter. Karina will respond and provide you with an answer to your question. The chat feature is to be used for logistical questions only. All program questions should be asked in the Q&A section so we can better keep track of and respond to and document them. Now I'll hand it over to Sharice.
Thank you, Paige. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So in today's meeting, we will revisit some of the information we shared in our March meeting. We feel it's important that we are all on the same page with SumBucks. We know that for some folks, this may also be your first SumBucks webinar, so we want to make sure we provide you with adequate information. Today, we'll provide background on an overview of SumBucks. We'll also share some estimates of program participation and discuss who's eligible for the program. We will also discuss how benefits will be issued and how customer service will be provided. And we'll also discuss the website launch and upcoming robo-messaging. As always, we'll provide some time for question and answers and provide our next steps and the next meeting dates. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Next slide, please. All right, so a little bit of background. So between 2011 and 2014, FNS authorized a Summer EBT demonstration project for select states and territories to test the impact of providing summer nutrition benefits through an EBT card to low-income families with school-aged children. The results found this demonstration project to significantly reduce child hunger and improve diet quality, prompting Congress to authorize the creation of a new permanent program focused on providing food benefits to low-income families with school-aged children over the summer months beginning in 2024. Under the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, passed in December 2022, the Summer EBT program was created to provide food benefits to low-income families with school-aged children over the summer months when they may not have access to meals normally provided through their school during the instructional year, such as breakfast, lunch, and snacks. The Summer EBT program is a federally funded program that states and territories can choose to opt into to operate. In July 2023, California passed Assembly Bill 120, establishing the California Department of Social Services as the lead agency in partnership with the California Department of Education to maximize participation in the program for summer 2024. For summer 2024, California is one of 46 states or territories that submitted an intent to participate in the program to FNS. Sunbucks, as we call it, will provide $40 per month for a total of $120 in summertime food benefits to children in households that qualify for free or reduced price meals or are enrolled in CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal. California plans to implement a phased-in approach in summer 2024, which will automatically enroll over 5 million students, bringing about $600 million in federally funded food benefits to California. This program can be used in conjunction with other FNS nutrition assistance programs, meaning children can participate in other nutrition programs while receiving Sunbucks. Other programs include summer meal sites, SNAP, and WIC, among others. Following the release of the Consolidated Appropriations Act, FNS also released partial guidance between July and November 2023. Before officially publishing the interim final rule on December 29th, outlining program requirements. One thing we want to emphasize is that Sunbucks is a permanent program. While much of today's presentation will focus on how we are addressing summer 2024, it is important to note that this is a permanent program and that how we plan to address 2025 will likely change. Next slide, please. So a little bit about the interim final rule. So the interim final rule outlines specific requirements to establish eligibility, issue out benefits, and other operational requirements. It is important to keep in mind that this is a brand new permanent program, and we will take time to fully establish the resources required to implement the program in the way that is outlined in the interim final rule. With that being said, FNS recognizes that certain flexibilities will be necessary to successfully implement the program in such a short time frame for 2024. This slide shows you some of the important regulations and requirements established within the interim final rule and subsequently the Code of Federal Regulations. As you can see, for at least 2024, we are requesting flexibility in various areas as we work to acquire the necessary resources and establish the programs and contracts. California submitted its revised plan for operations and management, or our POM as we call it, to FNS at the end of March. The POM outlines how California plans to administer the program for 2024 and includes much of the information we will cover today. Previous feedback on our plan for operations and management from FNS shows that we are looking good with the flexibilities we've requested for 2024. Next slide, please. Before we get into Sunbucks specifics, we want to define terminology that will be important to understand in the upcoming slides. You will hear terms such as NSLP and S-EBT used when discussing schools and eligible children. One of the requirements for Sunbucks eligibility is that a child attend a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program, also known as NSLP, or the School Breakfast Program, also known as S-EBT. The NSLP and S-EBT are programs available to qualifying schools that serve meals to students. It is overseen by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and administered by the California Department of Education. These programs are federal and state reimbursement programs for healthy quality meals served and meet federal requirements. Schools that operate NSLP and S-EBT are required to offer free and reduced price meals to eligible children. When we refer to NSLP or SVP participating schools, we are referring to those schools that have been approved by the California Department of Education to operate the NSLP or SVP program at their school site. Another term that we may refer to throughout this presentation is the summer operational period or the instructional school year. For California, the summer operational period is June 1st through August 31st. So again, the summer operational period is June 1st through August 31st. This may differ in other states, as the summer operational period is defined based on the state's average school calendar year. The Department of Education reviewed available school calendars and found that over 90% of California schools are on summer break between June 1st and August 31st. The instructional school year is the other months when children are normally attending class. For 2024, when we refer to our previous instructional school year, we are referring to the time period of August 1st, 2023 and May 31st, 2024. There are two main ways that children can be eligible, and the age parameters for eligibility differ for both. In California, the compulsory age to attend school for children is age 6 through 18. So when we say school age, we are referring to children between the ages of 6 and 18. Lastly, you will hear CEP or Provision 2 school. CEP stands for Community Eligibility Provision School. CEP or Provision 2 schools allows the nation's highest poverty schools and districts to serve breakfast and lunch at no cost to all enrolled students without collecting household applications. So with that said, I will now go ahead and turn it over to Andrea Chavez, who will provide an overview of our 2024 estimates and eligibility. Next slide, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Sharice. Not good morning, good afternoon. My name is Andrea, and I'm one of the managers here on the Sunbucks program. I'm going to go ahead and transition and talk about our estimates for Sunbucks. Next slide, please. Great, thank you. So we estimate that more than 5 million children will be eligible to Sunbucks. 77% of our data will be coming from CalSAWS, specifically those children receiving CalFresh, CalWorks, and Medi-Cal. And we have 23% of our data coming from the California Longitudinal Pupil Achievement Data System, also known as CalPADS. This CalPADS is used by the schools and the Department of Education for free and reduced price meals eligibility. This is just accounting for children that we can already anticipate as eligible. There is still the potential that we will see an increase in the CDE data based on those children who attend a community eligibility provision or Provision 2 school and have yet to complete an alternative income form. More on that in the upcoming slides. Next slide, please. Okay, 2024 estimates. CDSS and CDE gathered estimates based on 2023 data that just under 5.2 million children will be eligible to Sunbucks. However, this number could increase depending on the amount of households who apply and are approved. The following two bullet points are general eligibility requirements. There are two ways that children may be automatically eligible, which is called streamlined certification. All children that are school age, which is 6 to 18 years old, and received CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal at or under 185% of the federal poverty level for at least 1 month during the previous instructional school year will be eligible to Sunbucks for 2024. To reiterate, for 2024, any child who received CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal for at least 1 month in the previous instructional school year will be eligible to receive Sunbucks this summer. Now, for the second form of automatic eligibility, all children between the ages of 0 through 22 are eligible if they are attending a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program and/or the School Breakfast Program, and they are certified for free or reduced price meals. The data for these children just identified will be collected through CalSAWS and CalPADS. Data from CalSAWS and CalPADS will support streamlined certification that allows for automatic issuances. Thus, eligibility for the majority of Sunbucks benefits will be determined automatically. Now, a quick note, there are some exceptions. Children attending certain schools who are not automatically eligible to Sunbucks benefits will have the option to apply using an alternative income form. More on that shortly. Next slide, please. Okay, this slide provides a visual illustration of the ways in which children are eligible for Sunbucks benefits. So while we're talking about the ABCs, we're going to start with groups B and C in the teal colors on the right, as these are our largest populations, all of which are automatically enrolled due to streamlined certification. In Group B, we have the children at ages 6 to 18 who receive benefits from CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal. And we have Group C with children ages 0 to 22 who attend an NSLP or S-EBT participating school who are already certified or categorically eligible. Children in these teal groups, B and C, are streamlined certified, meaning they are automatically eligible without the household needing to do anything on their part. No action required. Note that Group B also includes homeschool children who receive CalWorks, CalFresh, or Medi-Cal. Now, a much smaller group of children is Group A, who are not streamlined certified. Those are in the banana color on the left. Action is required. Alternative income forms will be used to determine eligibility for Sunbucks. These children are between the ages of 0 to 22 who attend a CEP or Provision 2 school. A household can confirm that their child attends a CEP or Provision 2 school by asking their school administrators. Children who do not meet these criteria are not eligible for Sunbucks. Now we'll look more closely at how children can get Sunbucks. Next slide, please. Okay, so to be clear, there is no application form for 2024. However, children who attend a CEP or Provision 2 school and that are not categorically eligible or already receiving public assistance will have to take action by completing an alternative income form or school meal application. For summer 2024, for those who are not streamlined certified, an alternative income form will be used to determine their eligibility. So what is an alternative income form? The alternative income form is typically used by CEP or provision schools to gather information about a household, such as name of all household members and income. While the interim final rule issued by FNS speaks of an application for Sunbucks, for summer 2024, there is no Sunbucks specific application. Instead, we will be utilizing the alternative income form. So families of children in Group A who are eligible, who are children who attend a CEP or Provision 2 school and do not receive public benefits, who are not categorically eligible or otherwise streamline certified will have to take action by completing the alternative income form. Households can request alternative income forms from their school. They will then fill out the form and submit it back to the school. It is important that households fill out this form as it determines whether the household is eligible for Sunbucks. As a reminder, we anticipate this will be the smallest group of recipients for Sunbucks, but since they have to take action to get them, they will require the most outreach. Next slide, please. Okay, and here we have Group B eligibility. A child will automatically get Sunbucks if they are age 16, or sorry, if they are age 6 to 18 and receive CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal. Data to determine their eligibility is being collected from CalSAWS and will be used to support streamlined certification. Next slide. And for the Group C eligibility, a child will automatically get Sunbucks if they are age 0 to 22 years and attending schools that operate the National School Lunch and/or School Breakfast programs and are certified for free or reduced price meals. Children in Group C can be certified for free or reduced price meals in a few ways. One, they submit a school meal application to their school and are approved. Two, they are identified by the school as categorically eligible, meaning they are a child in foster care, they are experiencing homelessness, are identified as a runaway, they are part of a migrant household, or they are attending Head Start. Or three, they are directly certified for free or reduced price meals, meaning the school has identified they receive a public assistance program such as CalFresh and automatically certified them as eligible to free or reduced price meals. Data to determine their eligibility is being collected from the California Department of Education and will be used to support streamlined certifications. Now I will go ahead and hand it over to Adriana. Next slide, please.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Adriana, and I am also one of the analysts assisting with the Sunbucks implementation. Now let's transition to benefits and the issuance plan. Next slide, please. Sunbucks benefits and expungement. So the Sunbucks benefit will be provided via an electronic benefit transfer, or also known as an EBT card. They will be issued in a lump sum of $120, which includes $40 per month for each of the 3 months of summer. That includes June, July, and August. One card will be issued per eligible child for the entirety of summer. For example, a household that has 3 eligible children will receive 3 separate cards in the mail, one for each child. Because these benefits are intended for summer use, the Code of Federal Regulations requires that benefits be expunged or removed 122 days from when the benefits are loaded onto the card. The expungement date will not be noted on the card or accompanying documents. Customers may contact the Sunbucks helpline if they would like to know the exact date of their expungement. And it's also good to note that benefits cannot be loaded once those benefits are removed from their cards. And to clarify some of the questions posed during our last meeting, each card will have $120 per eligible child. Benefits must be used within 122 days of being loaded onto the card. Cards will be very similar to CalFresh, except that Sunbucks will be printed on the front, and the child's name will be on the card instead of the parent's name. And as you can see, there's a sample on this slide, so you could take a look. For 2024, cards will be magnetic strip. Chip tab cards will not be available for this summer. And similar to CalFresh, card replacements will be handled through a call center. Cards may be replaced if they are lost, damaged, or stolen. And for 2024, benefits lost due to fraud will not be replaced. However, they may be replaced due to a household misfortune or a disaster. Next slide, please. 2024 issuance plan and methods continued. So now we'll discuss how and when households can expect to receive their benefits. Sunbucks issuances will start at the beginning of the summer operational period, and each eligible child will receive a card with $120 in food benefits. We anticipate 2.5 million cards will be mailed by June 30th. This is almost half of our Streamline certified participants. It's important to understand that cards will be mailed alphabetically by last name to the address on file based on the hierarchy you see on the right of the slide. Households receiving CalFresh will serve as a foundation of the hierarchy, followed by CalWorks, and then Medi-Cal. And finally, the address on file at the child's school. For example, if a child receives CalFresh on their mom's case, but Medi-Cal on their father's case, the mailing address is on the CalFresh case will take priority, and that is where the card will be mailed. Similarly, if a child was identified by the Department of Education through a school match, but they also receive CalWorks, the mailing address on the CalWorks card will be used. The CalWorks case will be used to mail the card. Now, let's talk more about the timing. Since we estimate over 5 million children will get Sunbucks cards, and the card vendor can only process and mail about 2 million cards per month, children will receive their Sunbucks cards throughout the summer and possibly beyond. We'll look at that more closely. Next slide, please. Staggered card issuances. So we want to make it clear that households will begin receiving their Sunbucks cards for 2024 around mid-June through August. Due to the large volume of Streamline certified kids, which as you remember is over 5 million, issuances will occur in 2 stages. For stage 1, households will begin receiving their cards mid-June and will continue through August. This addresses the 5+ million kids in groups B and C who were Streamline certified. To be clear, stage 1 issuances are expected to be completed sometime in August. Stage 2 households will begin receiving their cards in late August. These issuances can only begin after stage 1 is complete. These issuances will address newly eligible determinations made in the summer operational period. This will include kids in Group A, described earlier, who complete the alternative income form, and new eligibility through the summer meals applications, CalWorks, CalFresh, and Medi-Cal. This stage will also include escalation issues. This means cards will continue to be sent after August. But regardless of when these cards are mailed or received, every Sunbucks card will still be loaded with the full $120 per child. And now I'll hand it over to my colleague, Danielle. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Adriana. Hi there, my name is Danielle and I'm a program analyst with Sunbucks Implementation. Next, we will transition to customer service. Next slide, please. Customer service is a huge piece to ensuring a successful rollout of Sunbucks, and we eagerly await our call center launch on May 28th. The helpline phone number will be provided closer to go live. The call center will help households with personal identification number setup and card replacement, address changes, both general and complex eligibility questions, and field escalations to CDSS as necessary. Escalation items could include requests to opt out of Sunbucks, benefit replacement due to household misfortune, and inquiries on eligibility determinations. And now I will turn it over to Jen to discuss our outreach plans for 2024. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Danielle. Let me get the spotlight sorted. Okay. Hi, I'm Jen Ford. I'm an analyst here also working on the Sunbucks program. Let's transition to outreach. Next slide, please. Thank you. So with the Sunbucks program being a brand new program, we're exploring various methods of outreach and education, including the stakeholder meeting. Our previous stakeholder meetings are now available, yay, on YouTube. Karina, if you'd put in the chat there for us, the youtube.com/@CA Social Service. If you go to that YouTube channel, you can find a playlist called Sunbucks Webinars. In addition, we'll present our logo and speak about our social media campaign plans, the launch of the Sunbucks webpage, which we already put in the chat, utilizing automated text, email, and phone calls to send communication to households, and developing a Sunbucks newsletter. One thing to remember that since most children will be automatically enrolled via Streamline certification, our outreach efforts are primarily focused on, number one, ensuring we have correct mailing addresses for this population, and number two, socializing the message that Sunbucks is coming and that cards will be coming throughout the summer and possibly beyond. For kids that need to submit alternative income forms or school meal applications, we're also coordinating with our partners at CDE, the Department of Education, to help spread the word. Next slide, please. So we're really excited to share that our website has recently launched. Again, we put a link in the chat. Note the hyphen there. It's sun.bucks. It's also been showcased on the CDSS website in terms of, I think it's called headlines. The Sunbucks website is a resource where participants and stakeholders can access additional information about the Sunbucks program. It contains information such as what are Sunbucks, who is eligible, how to get Sunbucks, frequently asked questions, and where to find other food resources. And also for now, there are some placeholder pages about how to appeal and some resources for our partners. We will update these web pages when we have more information to share, including the call center phone number. Again, the website is cdss.ca.gov/sun-bucks. Please feel free to share the website widely for folks who would like to learn more. Next slide, please. Okay, so as some of you recall in our last meeting, I should say first, welcome those of you who this is your first meeting, but I know some of you were also here last month. And you may recall that we rebranded Summer EBT to Sunbucks. This branding aligns with other child nutrition programs such as congregate and non-congregate meals, and is supported by our partners at CDE, the Department of Education. Now that we have a live website and a logo, we can use these to socialize the Sunbucks program and get the word out to a broader audience using social media to drive folks to the website for more info. We're happy to share this logo with our partners and advocates to help spread the word, and it's also featured on the website. If you'd like a copy of the logo, you could email us at sunbucks@dss.ca.gov. Now, looking more at our social media campaign, which we are currently drafting and working on our first approach for May, we have a high-level plan looking right now at 4 phases. Our plan for May is to announce the program to help get the word out. A new summer for food program is coming soon. In June, we'll change this messaging to let folks know that some of the Sunbucks cards will be coming in the mail. This is specifically targeted at groups B and C that we discussed earlier. For August, we'll share information that the quote applications, which is really only the alternative income form, those are due by August 31st, and those are for the kids in Group A. And in September, we'll send out some reminder messaging about the importance of using your Sunbucks funds before they expunge, that's the technical word, or expire. Note that due to the variation in our eligibility groups and to the staggered card issuance plan that we talked about earlier, our messaging campaigns need to be tailored appropriately. Now I'll turn it over to Fong to discuss automated messaging and next steps. Next slide, please.
Thanks, Jen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fong, and I'm one of the analysts assisting with Sunbucks implementation. Automated messages will consist of robocalls, text messages, and email scripts. We plan on sending these messages to households with children who have been Streamline certified based on their participation in CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medical, which is Group B that we discussed earlier. The purpose of these automated messages is to inform households of their automatic enrollment in Sunbucks and to notify them to expect their cards in the mail. Robo messaging will start after the call center goes live on May 28th. These calls will be staggered according to the issuance timeline we shared earlier. Stage 1 will begin around the time we expect cards to begin to arrive. Stage 2 will begin in August to those students who were not captured in Stage 1. To address groups A and C, we will look with our partners at CDE to support messaging to these audiences via their various town halls, listservs, and the webpage. We are also working on social media and or flyers to help direct folks to the website to get the information they need. Next slide, please. All right, to highlight our next steps for summer 2024, we received comments from FNS on our plan of operations and management, also known as the POM, and completed revisions last month in partnership with CDE. We submitted the revised POM to FNS on March 29th, and we are currently awaiting approval. So far, we're looking good on the flexibilities we requested and highlighted earlier. Meanwhile, we are finalizing necessary contracts for the Sunbucks program, working with our EBT and call center vendors to establish a helpline and customer support. We met with them on April 2nd to begin the training for the call center agents. We are also working on developing outreach materials directed to specific eligibility groups and finalizing the plan for sending out automated texts, email, and phone calls. We will have more to share on our social media campaigns in our next all stakeholder meeting in May. And I'll hand it back over to Paige. Next slide, please.
Hi again, everyone. This webinar was recorded. A link to the recording and all presentation materials will be published to the website once available. Please note that these require time and patience for ADA accessibility and translation. You can find recordings from our prior stakeholder webinars on the Sunbucks playlist as part of the CDSS YouTube channel. Our most recent meeting in March is now available. It's up and running on the YouTube channel page. You can go on YouTube, and honestly, the easiest way to search it is put CDSS Sunbucks, and then it'll pop up if you don't have the link. Now we'd like to hear from you. What questions do you have? You can put your questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we will respond verbally and in writing. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the questions that have already been asked. So maybe I can touch base on things that you might have, going through your mind. One of the questions was, do you have a county breakdown of the 2024 estimates for both Group B and C? We will be taking this question back to our education partners to determine if county-specific data sets are available. Somebody wanted us to confirm that TK children age 5 will be eligible if attending an NSLP school. Yes, all children aged 0 to 22 years are eligible if attending an NSLP school and certified eligible for free and reduced price meals. The next question is, how many children are estimated to need to use the alternative income form? We estimate approximately 1.6 million children will need to apply utilizing the alternative income form. They wanted to know if we would be providing a recording of this webinar and the presentation slides. And once again, I do want to reiterate, we will have all the recording and the YouTube slide. We will have the slide deck available for you as soon as we can get it all set up. The YouTube stuff needs to go away for closed captioning, and the slide decks need to be made ADA accessible, and they need to be translated. As soon as those become available, all links will be put on our webpage. Just remember that you can go to the Sunbucks website and you'll be able to find links to the presentations. And currently the March and February slide decks are available. Just going to reiterate, the Sunbucks website is www.cdss.ca.gov/sun-bucks. Let's see what's next. What is the time frame for determining eligibility once they submit the alternative income form? Our partners at the Department of Education are currently working with local educational agencies to establish a timeline for eligibility determination for submitted alternative income forms. And also, they wanted us to confirm if a student is part of Head Start, experiencing homelessness, living in foster care, or part of a migrant household, will they automatically receive a card? And the answer is, a student in Head Start is eligible if they attend a school that operates NSLP or SBP and are approved for free or reduced price meals. For students who are experiencing homelessness, living in foster care, or part of a migrant household, they're considered categorically eligible for free and reduced price meals, and also Sunbucks eligible. The next question is, will they need to hold on to the cards for future summers, or will they receive new cards each summer? The answer to that will be, as of today, we do not anticipate that households will need to hold on to their 2024 cards. We anticipate the issuance of new cards with the chip tap security enhancement for summer 2025. Next question. If the benefits are expunged in 122 days, how long does the family have to spend it if they receive the card in November? The reply is, the card expires 122 days from the date the benefits are loaded to the card, which is mailed shortly after. So just to reiterate on that, it's 122 days from the date the card is loaded. So, and like Jen had said earlier, I believe it was Jen, we will be sending messaging out to remind people that they need to use their cards within 122 days, the benefits. The next question, how are PINs determined? Will the PINs be selected by the household after receiving their cards? The answer is yes. The PIN will be created by the household by calling the S-EBT helpline number printed on the back of the card. For eligible Sunbucks benefit replacement, disaster, or household misfortune, how are households notified where to make these types of reports? The answer to that question is households will be able to make a request for replacement benefits by calling the Sunbucks helpline. When will the list be shared for cards that are mailed to a district office? We are currently working on this and provide more information, and we will provide more information soon as when the list will be shared. Every year, children will receive a new card, or will the Sunbucks card need to be saved for future benefits? We answered that already. We don't anticipate, once again, that you're going to need to hold on to your card for the 2024 cards, because we are hoping, and the way we see it as of now, we anticipate that the new cards that will come out in 2025 will have the chip tap security enhancements on them. Next question. is, will there be an ACL or an ACIN regarding Sunbucks eligibility? And the answer is yes, a letter will be published. Is there an estimate of when cards are loaded to when mailed out for families? Trying to estimate what that transit delivery time will be, shortening the time the cards are in the family's hands. The reply to that is that we will try to obtain a time estimate for our EBT vendor. Oh, this is a great question. Can the benefits be used at a farmer's market that has the market match program? And yes, benefits can be used at farmers markets just like CalFresh. So I hope that's great news for everybody. We all know we can get some great fruits and vegetables at a farmer's market. Does Sunbucks require immigration status? The answer to this question is no. Child nutrition programs do not have citizenship requirements. And the next question is, will the helpline be able to tell the customer what address their Sunbucks card got sent to? The helpline will be able to do that. So the answer is yes. The helpline will be able to answer all those questions. And once again, just to reiterate, our go live date for our call center will be May 28th. The next question is, how long is it between when the card is loaded and when it's mailed? The answer is we will work with our EBT vendor to provide an estimate of the loading and mailing timeline. That is the majority, I think. Hold on, let me see, maybe I missed something. No, is that the end? I think that might be the end of the questions. Oh, then I'm hoping that means we did a really good job today with providing you with some information that in our slide deck that was able to answer a lot of questions that you may have had. We thank you so much for your time today. Please remember that you can use the Sunbucks webpage. You can use, go on the YouTube channel to watch the recorded meetings from February, March. There's so much information on the webpage where you can find out, and please direct any participants that have questions, you can direct them to the webpage. We try and answer all of your questions in the inbox as quickly as possible for our Sunbucks inbox. But once again, I do want to reiterate, please be patient with us to get this April meeting translated and get it ADA compliant before we can upload it. I know that you all have a lot of questions, and I know that there's a lot of information that we throw at you during these meetings. And I just want to thank you for your patience. This is a brand new program, and we're really trying to roll it out pretty fast, and we appreciate all of you and all of your time. Oh, there's another question. I got another one. How do customers get a replacement Sunbucks EBT card? They can call the helpline for replacement. So once we have that call center up and running, customers will be able to call and ask questions and get replacement cards. I do want to reiterate that any fraud that is on a card, we are not replacing benefits for fraud, but we will replace cards if they're lost or stolen. So for our next meeting is Tuesday, May 21st from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Be on the lookout for the invite. Meanwhile, feel free to email your questions to sunbucks@dss.ca.gov. Also remember that all meeting materials will be sent to everyone on the email distribution list once they become available. Also, if you know anybody else that would like to be added to the email distribution list, please have them email the sunbucks@dss.ca.gov inbox, and we will make sure that they give us their name, their position, and their organization, and we will add them to our email distribution list. They'll be able to attend meetings. Well, they'll receive meeting invites, and they will also receive meeting materials. If nobody else has any other questions, I would like to thank you all so much for your time. And thank you for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you next month.